Hello again, this is Joanna from Joanna the Medium, and these are going to be messages for May 2016. First and foremost, I wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in and for watching, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you so much for your comments. I really appreciate them, and I want to make sure that every month I say how appreciative I am of you watching these, because without you, at the end of the day, you know, there's no point for me doing this. My May readings are a little bit late. My apologies. I have been trying to find the time to make them happen and to produce them, and it's just been a crazy April. And speaking of April, April has been a very transformative month. I do believe I mentioned this in April readings, but my understanding is that May is supposed to be a lot more peaceful, with a lot more pieces of the puzzle coming together, allowing you to feel much more at peace than you have been in the last 3 or 4 months. So I guess since the beginning of the new year. Please keep in mind, these are general readings. If you would like a private reading pertaining especially to you, or if you want to connect with a loved one, you can reach me at info@joannathemedium.com, and we can schedule an appointment via Skype, phone, or FaceTime, or if you're in town, in person. If these don't make sense to you, if your sun sign doesn't make sense to you, please look at your other signs, your rising sun and your moon sign, as I'm finding through your comments that some months, some of these make more sense to you than other times. So it'll help to create a much clearer picture of what's happening with you. Without further ado, let's proceed with May 2016, and I will see you shortly. And again, thank you so much for tuning in again. See you in a moment. Hello, welcome back first and foremost. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Sagittarius for May 2016. I do have the cards laid out. They are face down, so I don't know what they are. And just like before, I'm going to ask my guide for a little bit of a message before we start the reading. Compassion is mandatory for you to have a peace of mind. Compassion for yourself and compassion of others, or to others, for others. It is something that has been missing from your life for a very long time. And when I say this, I am being shown that for whoever this message is for, you lack compassion for yourself. You feel pity, you feel self-pity, but you lack compassion. And when I ask him to explain the difference, he says compassion is nurturing, self-pity is blame. So if this applies to you, take it for what it is. Also, he says be patient with yourself. And some of you have messaged me before when I say the words patience, and you got a little bit rattled because you've been patient before. But I'm just giving you what I'm being asked to give, and if it's poking you and it makes you feel then that's precisely what you need to hear, because it's hitting the right buttons. Now, let's start with the cards, and I do hope that the cards do corroborate the message that came through, because it just makes it that much more special. So the first card we have is the card called Transformation. Very first card, and we have Major Arcana. So I'm going to show these closer, and I'm going to hold these for those of you who wanted to see it a little bit longer. This is a card that is representative of what is happening within you. And whatever is happening is quite transformative. He's even though it says number 13, he's asking me to add the numbers, which makes it number 4. 4 is stability, and in this case, your transformation is going to be a catalyst to a new stability within yourself. And he's asking me to explain this further. What he means by stability within yourself, your state of mind and your state of emotional basis. And instead of being rattled or insecure or feeling unsafe, the transformation has the potential to change you in a powerful way, where the foundation of who you are is going to be much calmer. This is a picture of a woman depicted with wings. Wings to me represent freedom. This, sorry, I can't talk. The image behind her, her background, is black, indicating she may be coming from a dark place. She's holding on to what looks like a horse. Horse to me represents swift movement, and it also is a sign of freedom. Horses also by nature are extraordinarily intuitive. The green that she's wearing is around her upper body, which represents there is tremendous amount of emotional healing going on, or potential of emotional healing happening. And I hear the words road to recovery. And this could be recovery from substance, or it could be recovery from a certain way of being in an emotional and mental way. Now, the card that represents past influences, or what is still influencing you from the past, it's called Memories of Love. This is an emotional card, or cards that represents your emotions. When I look at this card, I feel I have lost something or someone. Either I have lost a sense of who I am, or that sense of who I am has been taken away from me at some point in my life. And I hear the word security. Now, for those of you who read cards, please keep in mind that this card to a tarot reader may mean completely something different. I don't read cards. I look at them to trigger my intuitiveness, and then I'm hearing to what my guide is saying. The reason why things have been the way they have for you, if you have been struggling emotionally and incidentally, green and green, okay? It is because of some loss. And I hear this happened in the past. Perhaps this is a loss of a loved one. Perhaps it's a loss of a mother. Perhaps it's a loss of being nurtured or something of that nature. But I feel this happened a long time ago, and I hear the number 15. So maybe 15 years ago, or 15 months, or 15 some plus, or when you are 15, something about 15 will resonate with whoever this message is for. And he's saying to me that that loss has influenced you up until this point. However, it is something that you were not aware of, not of the loss, but you were not aware that that part of your life has been affecting you up until now. So there, in large portion, there is an unawareness of why things have been the way they are. And he's saying to me, emotional struggles, either with other people, with self, or both. I also hear the word loner. So perhaps for some of you, you have preferred to be alone. And this feeling of wanting to be alone is for the most part for self-preservation, not because you just enjoy being more. It is something about, again, relationships. Maybe there is an inability to trust. And maybe the trust was somehow taken away from you, or you felt that it was taken away from you. Not necessarily that it was your fault, but something, there's a trust component that was undermined. And I'm hearing the words, you cared or loved very deeply. So maybe you've lost someone was taken away from you, something went sideways, I don't know, but that has triggered your emotional state of being. But that's past. Okay? Now the future card is represented by prosperity begins. This is an earth card. Number 1 is about new beginnings. This card is representative of anything that we have, anything that we possess, anything that we have. Money, finances, properties. Sometimes it can represent health. Sometimes it's relationships. Things we own. But it was shown to me in reverse. So I'm going to ask why it's shown to me in reverse. He's saying to me that the transformation has the potential to uproot your belief system. Very interesting. Where your focus is not going to be so much on the physical, but it's going to transform into more of a higher perspective. And that's not to say that the financial aspect or physical aspect is not going to be important, but you will not be driven by it as the number one driver or the number one thing that you are working towards. And he's saying to me, we do not mean that working towards physical pleasures is something that is not for you or cannot be attained or shouldn't be attained. Far from it, because each and every one of you deserves abundance on all levels. It is only the driver that we are talking about that is propelling you to move each and every day to do what you do. And I feel whoever this is for, perhaps because something happened in the past and you lost someone. Perhaps it's because you lost faith in relationships. Perhaps you lost faith in trust, in close relationships. You decided to switch and focus on finances or only on the physical aspect of things, and you push the emotional part aside because you couldn't trust it anymore. Now the card that represents the reason behind this, or what is subconsciously blocking you from getting what you want. We have the card called Discontent and Boredom. This is again a card about emotions. And you can see this man is standing there. There's a beautiful scenery in front of him. There's a castle in the background. The day is beautiful and sunny. 4 is a new beginning. 4 is a foundation number, but at the very beginning of foundation. So there's still work to be done. But it was shown to me in reverse. So I'm going to ask the question. And interesting, I'm looking at the 3 cards. Every single one of these cards, if I can show this to you, has green. Okay? So a lot of this has to do with emotion. And they're not all like that. The colors are very different for many cards out of 72 cards. I believe that's how many there are. So the reason behind all of this is because you've decided that you're no longer going to bother or be bothered with an emotional closeness. You have chosen to bypass that side of you and either not nurture it or again to focus on physical things. And though I do see someone who is smiling, I see someone who has fun, this is on a surface, and deep inside this person feels somewhat emotionally troubled. And I keep hearing the word trust. He or she is unable to trust herself or himself in making the right decisions. But this is about relationships. So there's a potential here for you to go through a massive transformation that would allow you to open up again to an aspect of you that has been dormant or pushed aside for quite a long time. And again, I hear the number 15. So for some of you, this is going to be since you were 15. For some of you, for the last 15 years, or something about 15 is very prominent here. He says, please keep in mind that things don't happen overnight. It is a process. So be patient with yourself. And again, he's saying the word patience. If you allow yourself to be patient with the process, you will well be on the road to recovery. And again, whether this is recovery from addiction, substances, or recovery from emotional way of feeling, not in a positive way, that's what the road to recovery is. At the end of the day, there is brightness and light in the future. And he's saying to me, that is attainable to you. You just have to learn how to trust. Trust yourself. First and foremost, trust yourself. Because if you don't, and from what I'm seeing, for those of you who this is meant, you don't. You're always keeping that part of you back. And therefore, you can never truly be yourself. And if that's what happens, you cannot attract authentic relationships. That's just the way it is. Now, the potential of all of this, if you go through this work, if you allow yourself to transform, and if you allow yourself to focus on the inner you and on the bigger picture, not just the physical aspect of things, need I say more? It says spiritual union. 2 is choices. When I saw the word spiritual union, I heard the words yin and yang. So for some of you, and notice there's green in every single card, there's obviously a theme here, and I love how this is happening. What he's saying to me is that there's a potential for you to fall in love, for those of you who are looking. But he says there's a potential for you to fall in love with yourself, meaning a greater balance of both, a greater balance of your feminine and of your masculine. For some of you, maybe you have predominantly dealt with one particular energy, maybe more of the masculine for protection, and the feminine sensitive side of you was pushed aside. So the transformation has a potential for you to not only fall in love and find a partner that is equally as deserving of love as you are, but also, and perhaps for others, to find the inner balance within you, where the yin and yang, the female and male aspects of yourself, the nurturing and the masculine, the feminine and the masculine, become engaged once again in balance. And he says to me that is the ultimate form of healing, when both masculine and feminine energies are at work together. Now, I'm just asking him to give me more information. He says it's not needed, but my head wants to. Basically, what he's saying is a blend of both is what is required for one to feel whole. If one suppresses one part or the other, it is very difficult to feel whole, and the suppressed part will suffer. The one that's dominant is going to be at work, but it's going to feel unbalanced. So there's a tremendous potential for you to transform this and come to a place of a union within yourself and also with someone. He's also saying to me, this is a great time to love yourself. And for some of you, if you hear this and you go, ooh, I get it, because I used to be that way before, but I now understand what it means. So take it for what it is, contemplate on this. even if it's just an appreciation for yourself that allows you to nurture yourself, to be the nurturer. If that can happen, if that has the potential to happen, that's the greatest gift you can give to yourself. Because no one can nurture you unless you allow them. But if you don't allow yourself to nurture yourself, you're going to have a difficult time allowing others to fully nurture you, because there's a part of you that will always be held back. I hope this is making sense. I look forward to your comments as always. May is a very interesting month. It is supposed to be month of much more peace than before, and absolutely I can see this transformation. If it takes place, it has the potential to bring you tremendous amount of inner peace. And if we can have inner peace, I believe that we can attain anything despite of what's going on. I wish you best of luck. I look forward to speaking with you or to see you again in June. Again, let me know if you have any comments, and let me know if this is made sense to you. If it doesn't, that's great. You can listen to your other signs or other readers and see if that works for you. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing. For the new of you who are just joining, I hope you stay and enjoy these as well. And until June, I wish you best of luck again, and see you soon.